Dear Taurus, welcome. There is a current of intention that guides us, a spiritual gravity that pulls us toward the truths we are finally ready to face. Before we delve into the heart of this message, I want you to sit with a question, just for a moment. Close your eyes if you feel called to, and ask yourself, what is the one weight I am most tired of carrying? You don't have to analyze it or solve it. Just let the feeling surface. And if you feel brave enough, if you feel a stirring in your soul to join with others who feel this same pull, I invite you to leave a comment below with just one word, lighter. It will be our shared intention for this time together, a quiet acknowledgement that you are ready to set something down. Today, we are not here to talk about trivial predictions or fleeting chances. We are here to talk about a profound shift that is happening at the very core of your being. It can feel like a loss of identity. If you are not the strong one, then who are you? This is where the universe is asking you to be brave. You are being called to step into the void, to release the familiar comfort of your burdens, and to trust that a new, more authentic self is waiting to be born. This is the rebirth that will ripple through your entire life, bringing with it the success and clarity represented by the sun. The sun cannot shine on a field that is cluttered with debris. You must clear the ground first. This transformation is the necessary storm before the brilliant dawn. And with this rebirth comes a profound choice, a choice of the heart, represented by the lovers. This is not merely about choosing between two people. It is a much deeper spiritual decision. It is the choice between the old way of relating based on duty, responsibility, and a subtle sense of martyrdom, and a new way of relating based on mutual nourishment, emotional honesty, and shared joy. It is the choice between a love that you have to manage and a love that is allowed to flow. You may be feeling this choice in your heart right now. One path is familiar, safe in its predictability, but it is the path of continued wait. The other path is unknown, perhaps a bit frightening, but it holds the promise of a connection that truly sees you and supports you. The presence of the King of Cups in your reading assures you that you are ready to make this choice from a place of emotional maturity and wisdom. This energy, whether it is coming from you or from another, is about offering love that is stable, compassionate, and deeply understanding. It is a love that does not demand that you carry it. It is a love that offers to help you carry your own heart. This internal shift will inevitably manifest in your external world, particularly in your finances. The reading I reviewed spoke of an unexpected financial improvement, but I want to reframe this. There is nothing unexpected about it. It is the natural consequence of you reclaiming your energy. For years, your life force has been leaking out, spent on worries that were not yours and responsibilities you were not obligated to carry. When you plug those leaks, when you call your power back to yourself, that energy has to go somewhere. It will flow into your work, your creativity, and yes, your finances. Think of it in this way: you have been watering everyone else's garden. Now, you are finally turning the hose back onto your own soil. The abundance that is coming is not luck. It is a harvest. It is the universe responding to your newfound sense of self-worth. People will begin to see you differently. The opportunities, the raises, the partnerships, they will come, because you are no longer projecting an energy of "I'll handle it all." You are projecting an energy of "I am worthy of receiving." Do not be afraid to aim higher. Do not settle for the scraps. You are not just getting a breakthrough. You are building an empire of your own making on a foundation of self-respect. Finally, let us speak of family. This is often the original source of the weight, the place where we first learned the role we were meant to play. There may be old dynamics surfacing now, echoes of past conflicts or unspoken tensions. The energy of the Two of Cups suggests that there is a powerful opportunity for healing and genuine connection here. But it requires a new approach. It requires you to show up not as the family peacekeeper, but as an authentic individual with your own needs and boundaries. The Death card's energy of transformation is crucial here. It is time to let the old dysfunctional family dynamics die. This may mean having honest, difficult conversations. It may mean being the one to say, "I can no longer play this role." The King of Cups encourages you to do this from a place of compassion, not blame. You can be the emotional backbone, offering wisdom and guidance, but you must do so without sacrificing your own well-being. I once worked with a Taurus woman who for 40 years was the one who smoothed over every family argument. One day, she simply said, "I will not participate in this drama anymore. I am here for love and support, but I will not be the referee." The family was in chaos for a month, and then something miraculous happened. They started learning to talk to each other because their safety net was gone. Your refusal to carry the burden may be the greatest gift you can give your family, the chance for them to finally grow up. Dear Taurus, you are standing at a threshold. Behind you is a long, weary road of carrying the world. In front of you is an open field, bathed in sunlight, waiting for you to build something new, something that is not just for others, but for you. A life where your strength is not measured by what you can endure, but by the joy you allow yourself to receive. A life where your foundation is not built on duty, but on a deep, unshakable love for yourself. The path forward is about making conscious choices. It is about pausing before you automatically say yes to another request. It is about learning to listen to the whispers of your own body when it tells you it is tired. It is about daring to believe that you are worthy of rest, worthy of support, and worthy of a love that feels as solid and as nourishing as the earth beneath your feet. Lay the weight down, dear one. You have carried it far enough. The world will not fall apart. But you will finally come together. It is a shift away from a lifetime of carrying burdens that were never truly yours to begin with. You, dear Taurus, the builder, the pillar of stability, have become so accustomed to the weight on your shoulders that you may have forgotten what it feels like to stand tall without it. You've mistaken the strain in your muscles for strength, and the exhaustion in your soul for resilience. The universe is whispering to you now, not with dramatic signs, but with a deep, inner weariness. It's the feeling you get at the end of a long day when you realize you've spent all your energy tending to everyone else's garden while your own lies fallow. This isn't a new feeling, is it? It's a familiar ache, one you've learned to live with. But something is different now. The ache has become a voice, and that voice is getting louder, demanding to be heard. It is the voice of your own spirit, asking for permission to finally rest. This feeling, this weight, has likely seeped into every corner of your life, coloring your relationships, your work, and your sense of self. It is the silent agreement you made long ago, perhaps in childhood, to be the responsible one, the anchor in a sea of chaos. You absorbed the anxieties of your family. You steadied the ground for your friends. You became the reliable one at work. You did this not for praise, but because it is in your very nature to create security. But in doing so, you may have forgotten to build a sanctuary for yourself. Let us speak of your heart, for this is where the weight often feels the heaviest. If you are in a partnership, you may have sensed a subtle distance lately, a quiet space between you and the one you love. The original message I was shown spoke of a partner seeming cold or distant, but I feel we must look deeper. This isn't a sign of fading affection. It is a reflection of the fortress you have built around yourself. When you carry the world on your shoulders, there is little room for anyone else to get close. Your partner may be standing back, not because they don't love you, but because they don't know how to reach you past the wall of responsibility you've erected. I sense they are not planning a superficial surprise, as one might think. Their quietness is a period of observation. They are watching you, trying to understand how to help you set down a burden you refuse to acknowledge you're even carrying. The gesture that is coming is not about a gift or a grand romantic act. It is something far more profound. It will be an act of seeing. They will do something small, something that says, "I see your exhaustion. I see the weight. Let me hold some of it for you." It might be as simple as them taking on a task you always handle, or sitting with you in silence, not asking for anything, but simply offering their presence as a place for you to exhale. This, dear Taurus, is the miracle you've been waiting for, not a loud declaration, but a quiet act of shared peace. Your heart isn't asking for passion, it's asking for partnership in the truest sense of the word. And for those of you who are single, who are perhaps tentatively opening your heart to someone new, you may feel a similar dynamic at play. You meet someone and there is a spark, a genuine connection that feels real and grounded. Yet, they seem hesitant, pulling away just when things feel like they are moving forward. A shallow interpretation might say they have their own personal challenges. And while that may be true, the deeper truth is that your energy speaks before you do. A soul that is tired from carrying so much weight emanates a very specific frequency, one that says, "I am self-sufficient. I don't need anyone." This new person is not pulling away out of disinterest. They are pausing out of respect for the invisible boundary you have created. They sense that to get close to you, they would have to ask you to be vulnerable, to let go of some of your control. And they are waiting for a sign from you that you are ready. This pause is not a rejection, it is an invitation. An invitation for you to decide if you are willing to create space in your life for a connection that nourishes, rather than a connection that you must manage. When you decide to set down that weight, to show them the part of you that is not just the pillar, but also the tender ground. They will return, not with hesitation, but with a determination to build something real with you on a foundation of mutual support. This theme of being seen for your true worth extends into your professional life. There may be a figure in your work environment who seems difficult or reserved. The original reading I reviewed identified them as an air sign, but I believe this is less about astrology and more about spiritual archetypes. This person is not an adversary. They are a mirror. They possess a strong sense of justice and integrity, qualities that you, dear Taurus, hold sacred. Their perceived difficulty comes from the fact that they refuse to engage in superficiality. They are challenging you, not to prove them wrong, but to prove yourself right. They see your tireless work, your quiet competence, but they are waiting for you to own it. They are waiting for you to stop letting your contributions be treated as an entitlement. They are pushing you to set a boundary, to speak your value, to demand the respect you have already earned. This is a divine test. I recall a client of mine, a Taurus man who worked for years under a manager who constantly challenged his methods. He felt perpetually criticized, but in our sessions, he came to realize the manager wasn't attacking him. He was trying to get him to defend his own brilliant ideas, to stop hiding behind quiet compliance. The moment he finally stood his ground in a meeting, with facts and unshakable confidence, the manager became his greatest advocate. Stay firm. Do not shrink. This difficult person is the unlikely catalyst for your greatest professional breakthrough. Your worth is not in question. Your willingness to claim it is what is being tested. There is a powerful energy of manifestation swirling around you now, an energy some call the magician. But let us demystify this. The magician is not about waving a wand and making wishes come true. The magician represents the moment you realize that all the elements you need, the earth of your practicality, the water of your emotions, the air of your intellect, and the fire of your will are already within you. You have been waiting for the universe to grant you permission to build the life you desire. But the magician is here to remind you that you are the architect. You hold the blueprint. This is the energy that fuels the miracle that is just around the corner. But this miracle isn't a lottery win or a sudden, unearned reward. The miracle is the profound sense of liberation that will wash over you the moment you consciously decide to let go of the old story, the story that you must carry everything alone. That is the true letting go the stars are asking of you. It is not about forgetting the past. It is about releasing the emotional contract that has kept you bound to it. This brings us to a sacred and often misunderstood energy, the energy of death. When this card appears, it is not a premonition of physical ending, but a promise of profound transformation. It signifies the end of an era, the role you have been playing, the silent provider, the emotional caretaker, the one who absorbs the chaos, is coming to a close. It must, because the weight of it has become too heavy for your soul to bear. This shedding process can feel uncomfortable, even painful.